Hi, this is Mark from LongIslandWatch.com, and today I've got two new Red Star releases to show you. Same watch, different colors. I showed these to you in the Basel 2018 wrap-up video, and very interesting looking watch. I will certainly admit it's not for everybody. It's a 45mm watch. The look is a little strange, but it's a cool watch, and it serves a direct purpose, obviously being 2 time zones. And it does it extremely well. It does it extremely simply. Easy to read, no GMT hand to fiddle with. Just very simple, plain layout. You can easily see the time in either time zone. So I'll do my my take on this one, and then I'll just show you the black one later on. So this is the Red Star Dual Time Auto. The official name is and I apologize for the pronunciation, the Zheng He Traveler. He was a Chinese explorer and mariner during the early Ming Dynasty. And it is a traveler's watch. Displays 2 time zones. So what do we have here? We'll get into the specs and stuff in a minute, but just what you're looking at: time zone 1, time zone 2, central seconds. Obviously it's not running. Power reserve meter and a retrograde date. So that means that the date is displayed from 1 to 31, and after 31 it snaps back to 0. So it progresses this way. And the date is predicated upon this time zone here. So when this one reaches noon, the date will flip. I think I said noon. When this one reaches midnight, the date will flip. Obviously there is no AM, PM, way to display either time zone, so you will have to know. That's one of the downfalls of not having a GMT hand. You will not know any other time zone if it's AM or PM. You kind of have to keep that in your head. So it's a hand winding hacking auto, so as you wind it, you'll see the seconds hand is starting. The power reserve needle is going up, and the watch is running. It hacks, I had mentioned. Pull out the crown, set the time, the seconds hand stops. I'll get into setting the watch in a minute because that's pretty much, that is the interesting part. Let's get into the general specs of the watch. So it is powered by Seagull's 2545 movement. It's around 40 joules or so because there's a lot of stuff going on in here. Obviously, the retrograde date, power reserve, 2 time zones. So there's a lot of complications it has to power, and there is the movement. It's not, it's lightly decorated, not totally, but it still looks really nice. It's got a screw down case back, as you can see. So 45mm on the diameter, like I said. It's 15 thick. It's 52 tip to tip, and is a 22mm lug. I did show you the crystal briefly. It is you can see it's a domed mineral crystal, very slight dome to it. Exhibition case back that is screwed down. It is 50 meters water resistant. It comes on a brown leather strap with a signed Red Star buckle. The case itself is done in this kind of antique-y hammered finish, much like a couple of the other watches that we carry by them is done. And the dial itself, I was pulling on the dial itself is also patterned. It's got a deep pattern to it to kind of, I'll say, match the case, if you will. And there you can see the functionality of the watch, the date, retrograde date. See, it's pointing to the 11th. The power reserve meter. This movement actually has a 50-hour power reserve as opposed to your usual conventional 40-hour power reserve. So about 10 hours longer than you normally would. So a full 2 days is what you'll get out of a full wind. So how do you set the watch? Well, obviously there are 2 time zones, and they are differentiated just by Romans and Arabics. You can make this one home. You can make this one away. You can make this one home. You can make this one away. It doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters when you go to set it is that you set this one first. So this is the one you're going to set first. It'll just make it easier, else you'll spin your hand around in circles, and then you'll set this one. Everything is done via the crown. The clicker right here, this is the retrograde date quick advance. You could put a ballpoint pen in there, and you can click it forward if you need to, so you don't have to keep going around, because there is no quick set date on the crown. It's done over here. So how does this work? Well, I sold a watch like this many years ago by a different brand, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to set the 2 time zones. And the manufacturer said to me, no, look over here when you run it backwards, and then everything clicked into my head. So let me just show you what goes on. So when I run the time forwards, so 12 and 3, 1 and 4. Now watch what happens when I run the time backwards. 1 and 3, 1 and 2. This hour hand is not moving. This one is. So the first thing you want to do when you're going to set the time zones is, I mean, in my opinion at least, the easiest thing is to get them both on the same exact time, zone. Once the time zones are set, then, like I said, you're going to set this one first. So you have to figure out, what do you want? What two time zones are you going to track? Let's say you guys know I'm in New York. So let's say I wanted to track California. It's, I don't know, 3 hours behind. I can obviously do the math, but it gets a little more complicated when you're doing countries that are far away. But let's just, for simplicity's sake, let's say California. So let's say the time right now here is, I don't even know what the time is now, but let's say it's 9 o'clock a.m. in New York. So that means it is 6 o'clock in California. So I need to advance the time forwards to get this to read 6 o'clock. Okay? Now, I want to get this to read 9 o'clock. So I go backwards. And yes, you can go backwards through midnight. It doesn't matter. You just can't go backwards through midnight if it's the first, because then the date mechanism can get messed up, and it's all explained in the manual that they wrote. So there we go. 9. And we're on our way. 9 o'clock here. 6 o'clock in California. It's all pretty simple. If it looks like the minute and hour don't line up, I'm doing it through the viewfinder, you can just correct it. Obviously, you can push it forward a little bit and then pull it backwards a bit. The hour hand won't move, so you can get your minute and hour registration perfect. It looks like maybe I'm like a minute or so off, but that's easy. I don't even say fix. You just got to set the time a little bit differently. And this is it. These will maintain a 3-hour time difference in perpetuity as long as you keep it wound. There is a little bit of Lume. Let's check it out. So there you go. You see the dial is loomed, as are the hands. The dial is loomed, as are the hands. You have your Arabics and your Romans. 2 time zones. Does not get simpler than that. So before we switch to the other one, let's just take note. This is the cream dial version. With the black hands here, white hands here, a little bit of Lume, brownish strap, and then the black dial is right here. Same watch, everything's exactly the same that I showed you. The only differences are the colors. So now we have a black hammered dial, silver hands for these two, and then white hands still for the time subdials. Works very well. We'll pull it on a dial just so you can check out the detail. So you can see the dial hammered, distressed. It looks really nice. I'm going to wind it up a bit so it runs. I feel the black actually matches. The black hammering does a better job of matching the case, if you will. I don't know, it just looks more antique-y than the cream color, but I'm sure more than likely the cream color will be more popular. Both are, I would say equally easy to read. Because they made the subdials black on the tan version, almost looks like a face, right? Eyes, mouth, head. Is that a nose? I don't know. The nose is above the eyes, kind of weird. But anyway, and here the subdials are not done negative. They're the same color, so the white hands pop against it. This one's done on a dark brown strap, still a signed buckle. Model numbers. I didn't discuss the model numbers. Model number 6202G-2545. B for black, C for cream. Price, $199. I think it's a solid bargain, a good deal for what you're getting for a lot of watch. Retrograde date, power reserve, 2 time zones, pretty cool. I will put them on my wrist, or one of them on my wrist, and we'll check it out. So here it is on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. It actually is not bad. Maybe it's because the lugs curve down very nicely. It really is not bad. Yes, it looks big. I would probably wear this one up higher because the crown sticks out. And don't forget, I wear watches on both wrists, but usually usually they're below the bone. But look, I'm a 6 3/4, and I actually still have room on the strap. And obviously there's a ton of room for growth, but not horrible, and extremely functional. for a traveler, perfect gift, perfect anything, because 2 time zones at a glance. This has been Mark from LongIslandWatch.com showing you the Red Star dual time zone traveler watch. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. If you have any questions or comments, put them down below, and I will be sure to address them as soon as I can. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.